Yeah, so I like how we started out with season 2 of Black Berry. It's all nice and stuff. But the women's demographic has no voice.
We need to get more women, right?
We need some women, Bob.
Boom, right there. Those two right there.
We don't even know.
You think I can do this stuff? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
I actually can't hear.
Ladies. I'm Los. This is Dean. Black and Berry, new hottest
I just focus on
podcast out of New York City. We want to give y'all
Out of New York City.
the opportunity of joining our podcast and being on our show.
The opportunity to join us, y'all.
What do you say? No?
For what? Why? Was it the introductions? I told them that we should have fixed the introductions. It's your fault.
You don't like black guys, do you? I know it.
Hey guys, yo.
Yo, what's up?
We were thinking, what if we did join your show?
Okay.
Right? But we would have to join on a couple of conditions.
Terms and conditions?
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah.
Contracts and shit?
What's up?
So you have to let us talk about women in politics,
Okay.
blackfishing, why you guys are such assholes,
Big trouble.
Oh, shit.
and I'm not finished.
Okay.
Why do you guys get paid more than us?
I think we can do that. You know what? I got something.
What you mean you got something?
Trust me, Dean.
So what?
The magic of Los always works. Come with me, ladies. Come with me.
Okay.
I got something for y'all. Come with me.
I'm institutionalized like $6.50 an hour. Y'all want to talk, man? Fuck this shit. Fucking hoe.
To the Barry Midnight Edition. I'm Dean. That's the Madman Los over there. We are doing something a little bit different for y'all out here today. A little bit different. I know you're used to seeing Dean and Los and I talk about a whole bunch of ridiculous bullshit that some of y'all ladies may not want to hear. Well, guess what?
What?
We got something for y'all.
Yes.
A little something for y'all.
Two nice, young, chocolate females over here joining us.
Boom. With a little splash of Latin America.
Yeah.
Go ahead now.
All right. So, across from me, we have the lovely Lady V. And
Hey.
next to her, we have GiGi.
Hello.
So, as our first guest of Black and the Berry Midnight, we want to give females the platform and the voice to speak about some of the things that, most marginalized women and women of color can't, portray or, have the access to speak their mind. So this is what Black and the Berry Midnight is. We're going to still be the same foolishness that we are because that's Black and the Berry. That ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
But we wanted to give a voice to the women.
Absolutely.
Because they overpopulate us, and it's important that they get their point across as well.
And they're more educated than us as well.
Is that a true fact?
That's a fact.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue that.
That's a fact. She did a Me Too joke.
See?
That was great. I love it.
So this is where we're gonna go with Black and Berry Midnight episode 1. All right. We have a whole slew of topics we wanted to get into. The first thing is this whole thing about blackfishing. What people don't know, or people who need a definition for it, blackfishing is basically like catfishing, but with black people. It's a step above blackface. Instead of going blackface, you're going black body. You're going all black body. So basically, a lot of these Instagram models and a lot of Caucasian women out there are basically getting these really, really in-depth tans and all these different surgeries and stuff like that to try to almost appeal themselves as ethnic or cultured or black. So you have some, butt shots, you have lip injections, you have crazy tans, like no tanning bed can do this. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So how do you guys feel about this? I mean, both of you being women of color, is this a little bit of insult? Because there's a thin line between appropriation and appreciation.
I do have a question though.
What's
before
up?
They get into it. There's one question for you and the answer. you said that all these women are having like lip injections, butt injections, done all that kind of good stuff, right?
It's Kardashian effect.
Is that all of them or just some of them?
What do you mean? Well, some of them, it's either or. Some of them are either getting the butt shots and the lip shots, or some of them are just,
or some of them may just turn their skin dark,
right,
and use their natural features.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to
But I wanted to include all the things that because the thing is, we've been shunned, or well, not we, but black women and women of color have been shunned about their features and how made fun of all this stuff about that, and then all of a sudden now it's a good thing. People want big asses and stuff like that. People want big lips. People want wide nostrils and all this stuff like that. And it's like it was such a big negative to have, not too long ago, but now all these women want this Kardashian effect. So what are your guys' initial first take on it? Because this is disgusting.
I think it's just weird. Like, why? Like, what is that getting you? It's like people that know you for real know that that's not you. So it's like, who are you doing this for? Is it just for the internet, or is it just for the internet, or like what are you getting out of it? Are you getting paid for it? Is somebody what are we getting out of this to be like, oh, let's go tanning, like let's go look black? Like it's weird. It's like,
I think it's always been a subconscious thing. Like, it's not new that people want darker skin or bigger lips or whatever. It's the idea that, oh, I want to be tan, but I don't want to be too dark. You have that difference as well, because you don't have girls showing up, white and then turning around looking like you guys, or I guess so. But what I see, I think, is the more like they're creating that golden tan, right? I want to get as dark before I'm actually black. You know what I mean? And it's that pulling the features that you want out of like black culture versus, you know what I mean? I want, because you don't see people adjusting their nose to look, bigger, sometimes. Things like that. Sometimes you might, but I think that is crossing a line into, what's the name of that lady she was the head of the NAACP for a while. You know what I mean? Like, there's like that extreme, and then you have the girls that just want to have those like pretty features and stuff like that. And I think it wasn't a problem until you had magazines like Cosmopolitan coming out on the catwalk saying, oh, look at this new fashion box braids or whatever, where it's like, all people are like, what the fuck? Or, walking down the catwalk like, oh, look at this hooded cape. Like, bitch, I'm wearing a do-rag.
The urban head tie.
Now it's more like pissed off because you're trying to take all these trends that have been around and turn them into a new fashion.
And like you guys created it. Like it was just came out the sky.
That's also a factor of gratification too.
Here's my question. Y'all know me, Black and Barry. I gotta be the asshole. What was the problem with Rachel Dolezal?
She was portraying to be black. And she's not black?
But she was trying to help the culture, so once again, what was really the problem with Rachel Dolezal?
She's portraying to be black, but she's not black. That's transracial. You don't go. I don't walk around saying I'm a white dude. You know what I'm saying? I belong to the Brooklyn Country Club. No.
All I'm saying is
I'm a brother.
All I'm saying is she portrayed herself as black.
And wasn't black.
And then attempted to help the but she was on though. Like she was like.
But you don't got to be black to help.
She did more for black people in certain areas than black people.
We had white abolitionists back in the day. You don't have to be black to help black people.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, like, all I'm saying is this with the Rachel. I'm just because we brought Rachel Dolezal. I'm saying is when you look at her, I know what she did. But was it really that, like, yeah, you shouldn't have done it, but how mad could we really be?
You know what the thing is, too? It's like...
Which then brings me to this. It's kind of like, listen, hold on one thing, right?
Okay.
So, one of the highest forms, and I'm not co-signing this shit, like, you shouldn't be portraying something that you're not. I don't believe in
You think it's flattering?
Not that it's flattering, but what I'm trying to state is that they want to take advantage of it. So, all we need to do is what we do, call them out, and just put out that natural thing. Because at the end of the day, their imitation cannot beat
the
original.
Yeah.
You're not going to, no matter what you do. You want to look like, listen, even Rachel Dolezal, you're trying to come off black, you come off looking like mixed, so you're not even going for the full thing. The best you
can be is biracial.
That's the best you can be. Even though a lot of them do say, oh my gosh, I just absolutely would love to have like a biracial child. Aren't they just so cute and pretty? It's like, all right, bitch, I get what you're trying to say, and I get you're trying to go there and trying to look like that.
Right.
But it ain't working for you, boo. All right, maybe it is, but we're gonna call you out on it, and we're gonna bring the original, and you can't top it.
Here's my thing with the blackfishing thing. It's also like the reverse thing. It's never a problem. I mean, it's a problem for us when we see other people of color trying to look like, you know, these white people. They're getting their, you know, blonde hair and stuff like that, and this is like that.
Oh, what up, Sammy Sosa?
Okay, bleaching their skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me,
over in Nigeria, they're like, that's like a big thing. Black China's doing it. She's co-signing it.
I don't co-sign her or any of her ideas.
I'm not, but I'm just saying.
But my thing is that it's not a problem to white people that we are imitating them, you know, because they want that. But it's a huge issue for us to try to imitate, you know, white people, and it's a huge issue because I feel like it's just a misidentity. Like you should be, you don't have to be natural, but you at least be you. You know what I'm saying? Like don't try to claim to something that you're not, and that's the biggest thing about me.
Feel black on the inside.
Either way, whiten your features, or you're white and trying to, you know what I mean, culturize or make yourself look more exotic. You're still changing to be accepted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like me on this spectrum, I'm not so pretty anymore with my, like, you know, pale skin and, you know, blonde hair and stuff like that, versus on this end of the spectrum, people don't think I'm pretty because of my coarse hair and I'm super dark. So they're both trying to come into the middle some way.
Right. No,
versus, like, I feel like on this end of the spectrum, it's more so that you can be successful in society.
Right.
Versus on the other end, like, I'm trying to become more attractive. And, you know, like, it's...
And I totally agree with that. I think it's in terms of the darker skinned, it's also just, we know this. It's the, you know, the fairer you are, the more successful you are. You know, the racism definitely affects. I just think that it's also self-love and awareness.
Definitely.
Like, if you are a beautiful chocolate sister, you shouldn't feel like you can't be successful, or you shouldn't feel like that you're not beautiful.
Because these bitches imitating you trying to get this money.
Right.
They getting this bread.
But I still think it always comes back to, like, okay, like we were saying before, like, we don't try to make it a new thing. It's not like, oh, we made this up, so hey guys, let's sell it. It's like, okay, I mean, we want to have blonde hair one day because we want to be Keisha, or, you know, it's like,
right.
But on the other hand, it's like, no, you guys are trying to make it seem like you invented our features that we've already had, and it's like, but you just, on me, it's not cute, but you can go get a lip injection and it's like heaven. Like,
right. And why do you condemn us for that? These are you condemn us for having God-given natural features, but yet people of different skin complexions do this, and it's overrated.
Yes.
Yeah, I see what you're getting.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the Kardashian effect. Kim, I'm looking at you. You already know how I feel about you. You're a black witch. You've been doing this to all our black brothers, and now you're affecting these innocent white women. Becky out there getting butt shots and lip injections because of you, Kim. It's all your fault.
Hey, Kim.
You know her?
I just want to say something to you.
God damn it, Kim. Look what you did.
You are a fucking genius.
What?
You want to know why? You want to know why she's a genius? She turned. Like, Amber Rose tried it and failed.
Oh, that slut singer shit?
She turned.
Went to a housewife?
Being a hoe into such a business move for herself.
Oh,
she sucked the dick.
Oh my god.
Did it bad. Dead fished him. And your sister's a billionaire now. Baby, you're a genius. You're a genius. She's a genius. Chris, they're all geniuses. They're all geniuses. Bruce, Caitlin, genius. They're all geniuses. Look at them. Look at all of them.
It was a plot from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. They was like, listen, bitch, you gonna suck that dick? You don't even gotta do it well. Just suck it. Look like you're interested. Watch us soar.
But they prey on our culture, though.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? That's not.
At least she sucked the black dick to do it.
Okay, that's the silver lining is at least it was a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're targeting our. You know, look at all the black men they diminished.
Here's my question.
Look at all the women they are aspiring to be like.
Here's my
our new sisters.
All jokes aside.
You're fucked up.
Here's the thing with Kim and them. What music did they listen to probably growing up?
Fuck do I know?
who would they probably? I don't know either. I'm just saying, who would they probably influenced by? Was probably black people, which is why you see them doing box braids, you see them doing all this other shit, because when they grew up, what they found was cool and what they knew was cool was our culture. Now, hold on, give me 1 second. Another thing is, I'm not defending Kim. Everybody knows I don't like this bitch, but I'm gonna have to speak facts. She, when they called out about them braids, right? Mm-hmm. She even said it like, "Yo, listen, I know where it came from. I just like seeing the shit growing up." You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
The same thing when you see these fucking white people with fucking dreadlocks, Nubian locks.
I'm offended, honestly, when I see that shit. I get
do
it.
what you do.
I don't care.
You got white rosters.
No, I get it. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I get it, but it's just like it just rubs me the wrong way sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's like
they never really look kept up.
No, I don't want to get acidic Jew color in my hair. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't understand it.
Listen,
so here's my thing.
LeBron James and 21. Just apologize for them. Don't bring them to this show.
Okay, sorry. But in terms of the Kardashians, the only one I'm going to give a pass to is Khloe. The only reason why is because
her daddy black.
Yeah, exactly. She's biracial. She's the only one. That's the only one I'm giving a pass to. She's the only one. And even her gets butt shots and all this other stuff. Look at all the Kardashians before.
There are but here's the thing though. You got sisters now.
Doing the reverse.
Who will they're getting butt shots and shit too, and titty jobs and all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Listen. But who the fuck am I?
I think that's still.
I just think you just need to go to the gym, do some squats, and do the bench press.
That's right.
Your titties will pop, your ass will pop. You be alright.
Build it naturally. But I think that's also the Kardashian effect.
Gotta eat some starch, baby.
It's also the Kardashian effect. Just because they affect all races. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is too, it's like these bitches are Albanian. They're not even white. You know what I'm saying? Can we forgot they're Middle Eastern? Like they're not even white. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. They affect everybody. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, guess like the younger ones are white, like Kylie and Kendall are white, but
nah, they have, right? Oh no, because their mama white and their daddy's Albanian.
Yeah,
is that how it went? Or was mama Albanian and daddy white?
Bruce is white.
But I don't think.
Oh yeah, Bruce. Well, Caitlyn. Watch your mouth.
Caitlyn, sorry.
Bruce was white. You know what I'm saying? Now
with that,
here's my thing.
Never mind.
Is like what happened? Like. This is just a random question. When you perform those kind of procedures, is Bruce now like deceased or like is he like what happens to his name?
That's a good question. That's a very great question.
I think that depends probably on the situation
and the state too.
Like
he has to change everything over.
I'm sure, but it's like does Bruce Jenner no longer exist? Is he dead? Is he like?
That's a great question.
I think maybe to like their family, he wants his daughters to, or she now thinks that the daughters can still refer to her as like dad or their father or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm always going to be the one who raised you. I'm always going to be your dad, but now I'm just in a different, you know what I mean? In a different body.
Wow.
It's not anything that any of us can understand because we're not in that situation. So I'm sure it depends on the situational basis what they want to do.
I think that also
former identity
speaks and exactly what I was about to say is the identity, which brings us back to the main thing, the black fishing, which is the identity thing. Is that these women do not identify beauty with their current appearance, and they want to do different things. So it's like I just want to know what is the lasting effect. How do you think this will affect maybe generations of girls in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think that there's going to be like a public like a scandal or some kind of calling out? Because they're already calling some people out. Like most of these Instagram models, there was a girl on here, I forgot her name, was Ava something. She don't know where she's from. But she was getting called out, and she's like, "Oh, I don't do it for the features. I didn't know that I wasn't trying to look black." But I'm like, if you're not trying to look black and you come out that dark,
it's like
come on.
What else are you trying to do?
Yeah, what did you do? Like,
why are you trying to be that tan then?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
That's not even tanning.
Yeah, it's like
you know what I'm saying? You a full on Dominican, like you know what I'm saying? Like you don't
fake melanin.
Yeah, like and that too. That we can speak about that too, because that's also part of the that's like taking the blackfishing to another extent. Just because.
What, they're taking melanin?
Yes, they're extracting melanin. It's being sold.
Well, that's where your white fragility comes in, because now we're calling these girls out for, you know, making your skin so dark and how your lips get so big, or, you know, what you do with your hair. And now it's I didn't mean to offend anybody. I just really like what this looks like. You know, I wanted to do it for myself. I didn't mean to offend, and you know. Right. So now they're turning it around back on you, like,
of course,
because I'm hostile for
right.
For
but like, why are you?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be. You know, I'm just
trying
to.
Because until you get called out on it, it's not a conscious thing. You know, you're not like, oh, I want to look like that black girl over there. You're just thinking, I want my skin to look darker. I want, you know, my lips are kind of small.
But it's the same thing. Right. They're just not, you know.
You're not recognizing the fact that you're copying somebody else's features.
When is it enough? There's a huge organ trafficking outbreak with them extracting melanin from these organs.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's big.
Yeah. So they're tracking
organ harvesting is a real big thing.
Right. They're doing
all those missing kids in DC and stuff.
Missing kids in Africa, bro.
No.
Kids.
I know. I'm just talking about America. Right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, just to let people know how home.
Well, they bring them from Africa to here. You know
and then they're taking Americans, and they also too. Listen, anybody trying to cross the border and go on those like when you're trying to like immigrate into America through the back channel, you run risk of being on somebody's table, give up a kidney, a lung, your heart,
your eyes,
and
here's the thing,
because of what I need.
It's like, okay, so you're extracting all the melanin for the organs. That's one. Then you're doing the human trafficking with all these little African kids. You don't know what they're doing with those, killing them off and whatever, extracting all the melanin from them, and then you have it on the home front. You have women trying to, you know, look different, look more exotic and look more, you know, black and everything. But when will it stop? What is the cutoff point? Because they don't want to be black.
This has been happening for centuries.
I know it's been happening for centuries, but I'm saying that's what my point is, that they don't want to be black, but they want everything else but the stigma attached to
black.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
What I say? Everybody want to be a nigga until you gotta be a nigga.
You know what I'm saying? So. And it's a weird dynamic for the black people, because it's like, okay, we're oppressed and we feel the oppression, we feel racism, we feel all these factors, but then it's like you want to look like us,
right?
And it's doubly effective for
black women. You want to be us,
women now.
you know what I'm saying?
But you want to be us, but you don't want to be us,
right?
That's what it is. Like you want the features of it, but you don't want the effects of really being a black person.
They like God,
like
black woman,
like period. Like
shit. Like y'all go in, if y'all decide to give birth, the chances of y'all dying during birth are exponentially higher than our white counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're losing our women during one of the most crucial times.
Here's another point I wanted to bring this up, and kind of piggybacking off your point. Maybe they want to mimic the black female because the black female is the most powerful creature in the world. Black female is the only person.
That part.
Yeah, genetically, the only person that can copy other phenotypes, which means like if she has a Asian baby, you will copy the Asian phenotype, and your baby will look half Asian.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that is the thing that maybe this is we're it's like, you know, like you said, mockery is the greatest form of flattery, and they are almost idolizing black women by doing this. Do you guys agree?
I definitely agree. I don't think that, not that they don't realize it, but they're kind of like, I don't know.
They acknowledge it, but they shun it.
Yeah, it's like, let me shelf it because it's like, nah, that's not what I'm really trying to do, but I'm really trying to, you know.
They will never try to empower.
Yeah, of course not.
And claim anything
not.
So they want to be like, oh, I don't want to be with you because you're the queen of civilizations, but I want to be like you because you have nice lips and you have good features.
Yeah, you're not idolizing the woman, you're idolizing the feature.
Yeah, which is messed up, man. And you know, this is, I like the way this is going, man. This is the first segment of Blackberry Midnight. We in for something, all right?
We'll just wait until we get in feminism versus womanism.
All right, thank you, Isaac Hayes. So that was Black and the Berry Midnight. We'll be right back after commercial break. Not really commercial break. We're gonna take a second to pay some bills, and we'll be back. Right?
Pay bills.
All right, Black and Berry Midnight. Love y'all.
Peace. And welcome back, y'all, to Black and the Berry Midnight Edition.
Midnight, baby.
I'm Dean. That's the Madman Los. We're still joined by Gigi and the lovely V, or Miss V, depending on what you want to say. Now, we're about to get into something pretty good for y'all. We're going to get into the struggles of women, right? But then we're going to do women,
colored women,
versus women of color, minority women, whatever you want to call it,
marginalized women.
Marginalized women. We're gonna have that conversation right now. Here's the question, and we'll start off with this. I don't think that either of us need to start anything off with this, so I'll open with this. What are some of the struggles that you two ladies face every day?
And this could be huge issues to something like a look, or just profiling. Sometimes it's. I mean, we're all victim to it. It happens every day. So and racism is so detailed. It could be like the faintest thing. So go ahead. Anybody first? Anybody?
I don't know. Some things I feel like I struggle with personally is like I guess it's more personal, like emotional, like shit that I deal with, like knowing my self-worth and, being confident in myself and my abilities and stuff like that, or even in the way that I look versus trying to want to look a certain way, you know what I mean? Just having confidence in myself and in who I am and grasping that instead of trying to please everybody else, just trying to work on my happiness and my success.
Absolutely.
Not worrying about the outside. As far as being a woman of color, I guess I don't know, as I've gotten older, I think I'm going through like this awakening, like that stay woke quote, like, I'm not quite, I wouldn't say I'm woke, but
You're not sleeping.
No, I'm not sleeping. Like my eyes are so crusty. But it's like,
What's going on out here, you motherfuckers?
And it's like, I don't know, one thing that has been resonating with me is a thing I saw online about how people say, oh, well, white people have struggles. You can't say that, we don't struggle or we don't go through this and that. And the response was, yes, of course, everybody has struggles, but your struggles don't come from, or you're never ever going to have to wonder, is it because of what I look like? Is this struggle happening to me because of my skin color?
I like that.
Versus
something else,
another factor that could be coming in. So I was thinking about it, like, all the different ways that people have treated me, and every time that they have treated me not nice, I'm looking back, I'm like, is it because of this, or is it because I look like this? You know what I mean? Or is it because I'm a woman versus, a man?
So it's like a double whammy.
I think, women of color have that double thing. Am I getting treated this way because I'm a woman? Am I getting treated this way because I'm black, or because I'm Muslim, or because I'm Hispanic, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever.
You just whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about with the racism, is that it's so faint. It's like, it could happen, like it's like this thin. Sometimes people don't even notice it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and to the fact that you have to even think about it every day, like, okay, something just happened. Was that because I'm a woman, or is it because that person's racist? Like,
literally,
you know what I'm saying?
That's so true.
And it's just like, it's kind of scary to think about.
And growing up, you always have those kids who are like, oh, is it because I'm black? And it's like as a joke, but thinking about it, is it really a joke? You know what I mean? Like,
the best jokes come from truths.
Yeah.
What about you, Gigi?
I think I would take it to the whole Black Lives Matter movement. Because it's like, you see these comments where it's like, okay, Black Lives Matter, but it's like, then you see other people commenting like, well, all lives matter, but it's like, okay, but we're going through so much, and it's like, you guys don't have to deal with that. So yes, all lives do matter, but at this very particular moment, what we're talking about, Black Lives Matter, and it's like, you guys are like, it's like, I don't know, it's black people. It doesn't really matter. You weren't saying
all lives matter until people started saying Black Lives Matter.
And another thing too, even saying Black Lives Matter doesn't mean that white lives all lives don't matter.
Exactly.
It's just isn't it? Just because I'm pro-black doesn't mean I'm anti-white
Right,
or anti-this. I'm
Don't
just
go to a
pro-black.
funeral crying about somebody else. Cry about the person in the ground.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just a awareness for our.
Exactly.
lives,
It's like we
our
do
culture.
exist and we do have feelings and we are human. So it's like
Yeah, we weren't human until like the 1940s. So you know, let's just keep it a spade. You know what I'm saying? So
Still debated.
okay, all right, but legally,
I do have a question though. So, as women of color, how is it when you guys show any kind of emotion? Because I feel as if as a black man, especially my age now,
stereotypical.
I can't, like, if I get upset or get really, really, like, in my feelings, I'm perceived as, like, this ridiculous threat who can't control his emotions.
yes.
How is it for you, young ladies, in that regard? Like, if you show a little bit of an attitude,
It's always
is it
ratchet.
always like, yeah, like, do you think you're ratchet?
Yeah.
Or you get like a side eye,
It'll
or
definitely
Get labeled as like a bitch man eater.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know, like
When it's just like I feel like we're so misunderstood because it's like we have to be we're perceived as the strongest women in the world basically. So it's like when we show a little emotion, it's like it's taken as anger.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being wow, my feelings are actually
Well, we are
hurt
angry
right now. Oh, definitely. We're definitely angry.
or
Don't get
is it,
twisted.
or is it like maybe that's just your personality? For instance, like if you meet like a stern or type A gentleman, maybe he's an asshole, whatever like that, but it's not like it's just like, oh, he's just to the point right there, like it's whatever. If a woman is to the point, not taking no bullshit, whatever the
Yeah,
case
she's
may
a
be,
bitch.
she's like this evil bitch. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, she just don't want to take no bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
And,
she's not with your fuckery.
right, and we're entitled to that, but I think it goes back to like people in general are just so used to the woman just being quiet. All right, well, the man is the man in the household, or the man is the man, period. So I can't have those emotions, the same emotions as a man, basically.
I think
Like,
we're growing on that a little bit.
we are
It's a little progressive,
we are.
and we'll get into that, the whole
Yeah.
idea of the state of where feminism is right now. But I think what it is like people usually are so used to, well, we're creatures of habit, so we are so used to thinking within boxes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's a black woman or a Hispanic woman, if they do something, we will either label them this or this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're either being ratchet or they're being ghetto or feisty
Right,
or whatever.
right.
Or then if they can't apply to the stigma of the races, then they'll apply to the general woman stereotype, which is they're being a bitch, or
Yeah.
it's the time of the month,
Yeah.
or they're used to overthinking or emotional beings, so whatever they'll have to say. That
And it also goes back to this, like, okay, you saw me blow up, but you didn't see the things leading to it. Like, how do you know that this is the first time, like, it happened to me and now I'm reacting? Like,
Right.
it could have been multiple events that happened that I just, I didn't say anything. But this last thing just pushed my button and now I'm going off. You don't see that. You just see me going off.
Here's
So
the
it's
thing,
like,
and America's been doing that. America's been pushing you. You always fall down, you get back up. You always fall down, you get back up. The one time you get up and punch America, they make it seem like, oh, this is a criminal. This person, blah 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 blah. You've been pushing me for X amount of years. And I finally take a stand to it, and this is what happened.
Yep.
No,
It's like you can't defend yourself, and you can't defend yourself, and you can't be quiet at the same time. So it's
Right.
like there's no win-win. It's like if I say something, I'm a bitch, I'm crazy, whatever the case is, or if I don't say anything, it's like stick up for yourself. Why you letting
can't be a
people-
doormat.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like where's the middle ground? Like how do we get there? What does it look like?
There is none. It's a huge gray area right now.
Right.
Because, and let alone, nowadays, things are getting discretionally out of proportion. You know what I'm saying? I seen a video on Instagram the other day where a guy in Portland, he was on the phone, he was staying in a hotel. And he went, I guess, downstairs. It's like a little lounge area. He's on the phone, and in the hotel he's staying. And I guess the security came over and was badgering him and harassed him. Eventually called the cops. And he's videotaping the whole time. And he's like, "You really want this publicity? Like, this is like, you really want this?" He's like, "Well, the cops are on their way." And he's like, "What did I do?" You know what I'm saying? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like people feel the need that they need to be these racial cops or racial,
Yeah.
you know,
Like, here's the thing with that situation, because I read that. The guy asked him what room he was staying at. He was on the phone with his mom or whatever the case may be, and he never gave him the room number. He just immediately went to being like, "What are you asking me for?" When listen, I hear you, but
he wasn't fully cooperative.
if you have security, then you're on your phone, and he asked you what room you're like, "Yo, I'm in room so and so. Here's my name. Look it up with the desk. Boom, go back to whatever you're saying."
Right.
That's what you got to do.
No, I get
Sometimes we incite that shit for no reason.
I totally agree.
I
see
think
what I'm
it's
saying?
because we already feel like we have to be on defense mode.
We
So
are-
it's like,
yeah.
why are you asking me that? And it does come off like I'm being uncooperative, but it's like I want to know like
Yeah.
what's going on.
Else.
Right. So it's like I feel like it's always a defense mechanism to where it's like now it seems like we're being uncooperative, but it's just like I really want to know like why did you just ask me that out of nowhere? Like what?
Especially if you're not a threat to anybody.
Right.
One thing that I was always taught is that you can catch more flies with sugar and honey than oil and vinegar. And what I mean by that is, like, for instance, right, in that situation, and I'm sorry we got off of the broad spectrum of women and now we're just talking about black people in general, but we'll come back to y'all. Give us about 2 seconds. Now,
Thanks, Isaac.
you know how it goes. Now, so in that situation, and this is crazy because now we have to play over the psychology, how we're viewed, right?
Oh God.
If my brother would have turned around and just would have went like this. Excuse me, sir, I'm having a little bit of family emergency. My name is so-and-so. I live in room whatever. You know, I'm staying in room 112. Check with the desk. What's your name again, sir? I do want to inquire.
He did get the guy's name, though.
No, but I'm saying if he would have been like, I do want to inquire as to why you were asking me this, but I'll do it at a later date. Let me just finish this family emergency and we'll get back to you in 1 second.
Right.
But here's my credentials. Please look it up and I'll be right back with you.
No, I agree.
He does that. Old boy starts to shit his pants.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've established you've done everything right.
Yeah.
And we understand that in America, they're going to do whatever they're going to do anyway. Doesn't mean, and I'm not trying to say that corny shit that Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, we live in a time that we know we have to dot our I's and cross our T's. Dot your I's, cross your T's, crush them later. Because guess what? He may have won the war, so to speak. You know, now, because the guy got fired, just brought all this attention to it.
Right.
But you could have brought all this attention to it, figured some things out, and not have got kicked out of your hotel that night.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You were staying there, but such a commotion was caused, which I'm not saying was unjust.
Yeah.
But such a commotion was caused that you were in the right and you still had to leave.
Yeah.
And we know this is how America operates. So my thing is, we gotta play chess and not checkers. And the same thing that
But how do you let something like that not, because it's obviously personal. So how do you let something like that not affect you and let you rile up your emotions? You know what I'm saying? Because
it's not that it doesn't rile up your emotions, but you just
gotta check it.
you gotta get them, because guess what, at the end of the day, every time we're in emotion, we know how the story plays out.
Yeah.
Like Sandy's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Like, we know how they're gonna do this.
Right.
So why don't we just start doing it like this, so that like we start skulls in these motherfuckers? Like he could have skulled that whole situation and not had to go get himself another hotel that night.
Yeah. No,
Because he had to deal with the stress of whatever family emergency that he had going on.
On top of harassment.
On top of harassment. On top of you now having to go to another hotel.
Yeah.
Which last minute bookings can go either way. They can be.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So he was fucked for no reason. But
let's get back to
on to women. Here's my thing, and this is gonna be a little bit into feminism and womanism a little bit. We can describe. We'll get into the definition a little later. But my question is, how do you young ladies feel when feminists are talking for you guys, or this whole feminist movement that's moving forward? And should I actually give the definition of feminism? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Just so we're on target with what we're trying to do here.
So, now, feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of sexes. Womanism, a term that was coined by Alice Walker, who wrote the Color Purple, is to set aside. Well, she was set aside mainstream white feminists from feminist women of color and primarily resist the anti-blackness with the feminist movement, because womanism is not issue is not an issue based. Womanism is not an issue based as different issues are raised all the time. So what that basically means is that it's about the inclusion of women in all aspects of society and the celebration of women. It focuses more so that the same playing field is level for all women. So issues are going to be raised all the time. It just depends on the issue, how womanism or womanist will basically attack it. For an example, the California Women's March was canceled because of they said it was too white and it does not properly show representation in America.
Right.
So we can get into that later because, you know, I get what they're saying when they canceled it, but like I wonder why we don't have as much you know, action when it comes to the different minority groups. We can get into that a little bit later. But how do you young ladies, because we have two women of color right here we can ask. So how do you young ladies feel basically in this whole feminist movement? Do you feel as if that you are represented? You know?
Or is there a clear division in that?
Within there for y'all?
I think that the term feminism has gotten so twisted in our society that people don't want to claim that to themselves anymore. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anything wrong with being a feminist, but I think it's the ideals that you're carrying along with that label. You know what I mean? All feminists are not like bra burning, man hating, like, you know what I mean? I want to step on the man kind of thing. It's not supposed to be like that, but that's what everybody has turned it into.
The ultra feminist.
And now you're hearing this term intersectional feminism, which is essentially the same thing as womanism.
Right.
Intersectional feminism is acknowledging the fact that as a feminist, I'm really only looking out for my personal gains and whatever, versus the intersectional is now bringing in like the black woman, the Muslim woman, you know, and all the struggles that they have on top of being a woman. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're, as a feminist, you want to jump and help women jump all these hurdles, but you're not helping the black woman over here that's hurdle is
Something
twice
else.
as tall as
Yes,
yours.
yeah,
You know,
definitely.
that's I think is a big problem, is that
that's
feminists
what it
get
is.
so twisted
I
and
agree.
people automatically are like, oh no, feminine, no, oh my god, like, you know, but you could be a feminist, you know what I mean, we could both be, and there's nothing wrong with it, as long as you, I think it's like your ideals underneath that umbrella is what is most important.
Well, absolutely. Well, what I guess what I was asking, because we do know that certain feminists, actually I have notes about this, certain feminists actually believe in the liberation of man, and then talking about gender roles and doing all of that, and pay equality when it comes to not only men and women, but men and women of color. Like when I say men and women of color, I'm talking about all of us, you know, black, Arabian, Chinese,
anything non-white,
basically everything non-white.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, like, when there's these women marches and these feminists are kind of, you know, advocating for the rights of women, do you feel as if that they advocate for you, or are you just more so going to what'd you say it was again?
Like intersectionalism.
Intersectionalism.
I think in some ways yes and no, and I think that's where that comes in. You know what I mean? They are fighting for us in some ways, but they're not fighting for us.
Right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they're fighting for the girl's body, essentially, is what I think feminism has mostly become about, like, you know, your body rights and your rights in the workplace and stuff, but
not,
you know,
it's not
so
Right.
particular. You know,
It's not specific.
so it helps us in some ways, but the overall picture, we're still
because that's the double whammy we're talking about. It helps you in terms of being a woman, but not being a black woman or a Hispanic woman. You know what I'm saying? And I think what we see in terms of those like marches and all this stuff, I think we don't see a united front in terms of, you know, the feminist movement. It's very intersectional, like you said. Like you'll have you know, Hispanic women will do something like this, and you'll have some black women that'll do, and it's like, you know, most of the time you guys suffer from some similar, you know, disenfranchisement. So it's like,
I guarantee you there are feminists out there who can give no fucks that there were migrant children that were killed, and I guarantee they give no fucks that there were like migrant children that put in cages.
Exactly. That's
like I know is there something like a fuck.
Well, I mean,
like I know.
those are probably like a small outlier in terms
I wouldn't say it's a small outlier.
population.
I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that?
No, because then if you look at the
But this is outside looking in, though. You
look at
not
the woman.
feminist, right?
Look, what happened?
So this is outside looking in. You're not like actually involved in the feminist movement.
I don't really know how to class. Like, I believe that women need to be on the equal level as men, on the simple fact of like,
I agree.
Why fucking not?
Right.
Like, think about what they do. First of all, they bring like, yes, we plant the seed for life,
Well, they carry the
but
kid.
they incubate life. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And that's
something.
That's a divine thing.
They fucking bring life into this world, and you're fucking with their pay. You're fucking with their bodies. You don't respect them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you really just must be Satan's love child of some real fucking bullshit, not to really understand and respect the power that a woman in general has, especially the black woman, because this is Black of the Berry Midnight. But women in general, they have this, like you said, a divine power. Like, who's bringing fucking life into this world? Don't get me wrong, it's cool, because all the men in this room were carrying that life. But they bring it into the world to fruition.
And they deal with the pain. We don't got. It's easy for us to just beep, you know?
Right.
But that poop grows and grows and grows.
I remember.
And messes with their feet, messes with their boobs, their emotional level, their hunger.
Changes their body.
Yeah,
Just like,
you know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, we're just like,
Hair loss.
okay.
if we pass a kidney stone, we're like, oh God, put us out.
Right.
And we have to deal with menstrual cycles.
Yeah.
Like, on top of that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah, like we just like, but this is and I guess like, so it's I don't understand. Like, I guess you could say that. I don't know if I am a feminist or not.
I'm a feminist. I'm definitely in support of women's rights and equal rights and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but I just like, but my thing is like, that's just fucking like,
Just your general respect for women.
it should just be like that. Like, like I'm not, because you know, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't like listen. Actually, I'm not like, listen, you decide when you want to get an abortion. You need to be paid at the same level as men do, but then shit, I think that everybody needs to get paid at the same level as a white man does, because shit, me and Denzel also go through our own pay wage gap problems as well. This ain't our problem. This ain't the time for that, but we're just saying in general. I think everybody needs to be on the same level playing field. Well, you know what I mean? Actually, and then maybe women a little more in the sense of like they give fucking birth. Like, they should get something more to compensate for that. Like, you know. No, yeah. like I don't know. Like, there should be something for them there. Like,
there should be something in place for them for sure.
They fucking that shit gotta hurt.
But here's my thing. I'm thinking broadly here.
Epidural?
Okay. Let's think broad here for a minute. And it's just like, women were also in the same boat as pretty much everybody else besides white men who owned land. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we should already be considered. We all should be considered equal one, and we should be paid as such. You know what I'm saying? But it seems that the only group that doesn't acknowledge, and I think they're only looking out for themselves, is this oligarchy of the white elites that own land. You know what I'm saying? They don't. So, and to the point that
I would actually. I don't know if it is that they don't I don't, because here's the thing though, because we can't say the white elites don't respect women. I just don't think that they have a respect for any what they perceive as fucking
they don't have an equal
weakness. Yeah, of weakness and because what I'm saying is don't get me wrong, they probably shit on the queen, the white elites, but it's she's still able to be the queen, right. And in certain countries she still rules shit.
She doesn't rule shit.
Yeah, she does. In certain those countries, that's a respected it's
I'm talking about in England, it's the parliament.
No, not in England. But I'm talking about, but there's still certain commonwealths that's still oh queen, what can we do? And you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is if they were able to be in those positions even way back then. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is the white elites are just they don't like anything that's not white elite.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but I mean white elite man or woman. They don't.
I think it's still.
They don't. You think they give a fuck about a poor white man?
No, that's what I'm saying. I said a rich white man who owns land. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing they care about. It could be women. It could be a white woman. Cool. She's a white woman. I will look out over. I would respect her over a person of color who is a woman as well. But I think for the most part, it's the division in men and women, and it's the division in terms of who owns the land and who owns the means of production. If within that small group, that small population, they don't give a fuck about anybody else.
Yeah.
Even if it's someone that looks just like them, or a woman of the same race, they do not care unless it's a white man who owns land and who is an elite. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we already are in that boat. Why isn't it so easy? Why isn't it easier for us to categorize that in terms of equal pay and equal rights? You know what I'm saying? Because we're already in the boat. They already look at us the same anyway. So it's like, why not, up it and at least be on the same platform? Like, at least for the feminist thing, it's like, okay, like you guys are saying, like you're fighting for women's rights. We get that, cool. But it's like, how are we fighting for civil rights for women?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How are we trying to, and especially now because we've got so many women in politics.
Accessible healthcare.
That too.
That goes for
But I'm saying we have so much women in politics right now, especially this year. We have a lot of there's like 27 black judges in Texas or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
There's a whole circuit.
No, I know, but I'm saying
nothing but black women.
Yeah, but it's just like
not trying to go to that court.
Yeah, no, but it just feels like to me like there should be some kind of unified front between the women, and I think that sometimes it's hard because it's like you can probably relate or see white women's struggles, but they can't relate to any of the struggles you're going through.
That's what the importance of the intersectional feminism is that as a white woman feminist, I'm looking out for not only my interests, but I'm looking out for the sister next to me as well, because I recognize that she doesn't have the way I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think, like even before you saying, I don't know if I'm a feminist or if I'm, like feminism, I feel like the definition is so, like, nobody knows the definition of feminism. If you have your own definition for it, you know what I mean? You can call yourself a feminist as long as you have ideals that match with it and actions that match with it as well.
You know what my definition is? Like, you know what I am personally? I just believe that everybody, listen, if you're going to treat us like shit, treat everybody like shit. If they gonna get treated good, then treat everybody good. But my thing is like, whatever
That's a very socialist ideal from you, my man.
What happened?
It's a very socialist ideal from you.
Socialism, interesting. No.
Treating everybody the same and stuff like that?
No, what I mean is the viewpoint. All I'm saying is this: is that if me and Denzel look a certain way, the cops will immediately assume certain things.
Profile.
We're gonna get profiled. So I'm just saying, like, why can't fucking white people get profiled more?
Because there's no, you know why?
More. That's all I'm saying. I just need that definition.
Well, that and because there's no stereotype in place. The only stereotype we have for white people is positive things, and the only negative thing is school shootings. That's the only thing that they, or mass shootings. That's the only thing. Besides that, what negative connotation can we attach to them?
Right.
There's no racial epithet. There's no stereotypical bad behavior we can attach to them, so there's nothing we can really offend them by saying. Even calling them a cracker is also
because you know where that comes from.
Yeah, it's like almost like a position, a word of epithet of power.
Well, I wasn't really trying to get to this. All I was saying is I'm not saying them socialists. What I'm trying to say is that the way that we are systematically fucked, I want them to be systematically fucked. Or if it's not going to be that way, systematically fuck us and let everybody just survive and just fight let it be survival of the fittest. All I'm saying is it's not survival of the fittest right now. They got survival of the fittest
because
and we got like the ultimate survival of like not even that like only the monsters survive.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like only, and I don't mean monsters director. I mean like you have to be do you understand how cunning, how strong, and how absolutely strategic Oprah Winfrey had to be to get everything that she got?
Oh my God. And the thing is that she had to be very cold to some things and close some circles in order to liberate.
I bet you Oprah is cold. I mean, she's gotta be colder than cold, baby. Like she colder than that. Like she is. I bet Oprah's ice fucking cold.
I'm sure.
And what a shame.
Oh no, I'm not saying that's bad. I admire it.
I think to some point
you're saying she has to be like that in order to get where she got in life.
Well, no. I think when you get a woman or man, when you get into a certain level,
you gotta start close.
You gotta be so like not for nothing. Oprah Winfrey and Vince McMahon probably have the set like that go-getness, that ridiculousness.
What you talking about, dude?
I'm talking about some other shit. Think about it. Vince McMahon is a self-made billionaire.
Right.
He legitimately, he's famous, and people love him because of how cold he is.
You're fired.
Like, they love how cold he is. He's a billionaire, made his own network and all that shit.
Yeah.
What did Oprah do? She maximized on the love that she got as a woman. Why would be cold? I think that shit is beautiful.
But I mean, what you're pointing out is that the woman
Society's
has to be
fucked up.
cold behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like, you don't think of Oprah and think, oh, she has a mean, cold personality. Like, you know, she's really...
No, but I think you have to be in order to...
But that's what I'm saying.
In order to level up, you gotta
I think Ellen Cole
close in on
too.
the fort.
Yeah, but as when you think about them, you don't think about their climb to the top and the struggle she had to go through to get to the top. You think about her... Well, Oprah, yes. Because that's what she's famous for. But at the same time, she's famous for being a very giving, loving, charitable person.
I get what you're saying.
On the other side, you're like, Vince McMahon, he's cold. He's, you know what I mean?
No, I know what you're saying.
With that attitude that they're putting out. You know what I mean?
Well, Stephanie, she's a white woman. I can't say that. Stephanie McMahon,
I think it's just necessary in order to level up and achieve the level of success that you want. You gotta start being a little bit more cold.
And that's fine. I understand that. But when you're looking at the woman versus the man having that same attitude, you're like, the woman also has to have a front that she's putting up. You don't want that woman to be in that high, position saying like she's a bitch.
Right.
Like Oprah's in this high position, but she's also,
nurturing,
kind and caring and charitable.
Yes.
And, you know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't have got to this level if she was out front, like bold. You know what I mean? Like ballsy and.
You know what? I think that's a really good place to leave.
Okay.
Just because I think that we can talk about Oprah all day. Because bestseller. Black, she should be running for president 2020. Well, we'll get to that later.
I hope she doesn't.
Oprah Obama 2020.
Wow. Michelle Oprah.
Yeah, Michelle. But anyway, we'll be back again, and we got something way more in depth. We're gonna tackle this feminist thing. We're gonna talk about women in politics when we come back. So just stay for a second. We got Gigi, we got Lady V here. Black of the Berry Midnight, baby.
Boom! And welcome back, y'all, to Black of the Berry Midnight Edition. I'm Dean. That's Los. That's Gigi. That's V. So we're going to, listen, we just had one hell of a discussion about womanism, feminism, black, white, fucking life and death, and women's divinity, and how they're God, and how we should be worshiping at their feet.
Absolutely.
And sucking their toes.
Ain't no grabbing them.
Actually, I don't really do the sucking toes thing. But no, but I mean, it's like an analogy of like sucking toes and that.
Catering to them.
That's what I mean. Well, you know what I mean. It's a term my dad always said. That's why.
He suck toes?
I don't think he does. I can see him though.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah, I played Joy Him Maurice. What up?
Messed up.
He'd be alright. But yeah, so now we're about to get into something, that has been a recent positive. So I think that women are going to be able to have a greater voice, and they're going to be fighting a little harder for some of their things that they want.
Especially those marginalized voices.
Yes. The rise in women in politics has been astounding this year, huh?
But not just any woman. There's been a certain type of woman who've been excelling.
And what kind of women might that be?
The ones that look like the ones from Wakanda.
Wakanda!
Not the bald-haired one. I'm talking about black women, of course.
Yeah.
So, if people didn't know that.
She's bad though.
All right. Anyway.
So now we're gonna be disrespectful.
No, she is, but I don't. Because I know how quick you can get off topic, so I don't want to agree. See, like this right now, me even acknowledging the point you're going off topic is off topic.
Okay.
Anyway,
now I appreciate it.
There's a lot of black women out there who have ran and been successful. In power, and it's a rise right now, because now I think that with these people in place, is the voice of the marginalized colored women gonna excel? Are we gonna have are they gonna have their own like platform? Is there gonna be? I mean, there's gonna be more empathy in terms of, because there's gonna be more people in power who understand the marginalized voice. How do you guys think this is gonna change? in terms of platforms, maybe policies, just in general, the identity of maybe black women, because we were talking about before in terms of maybe self-worth. These women look like black women.
Yeah.
I'm sure they act and conduct themselves like black women,
Right.
and they're still successful, and they don't have to portray themselves outside of the box for any acceptance. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So how do you think that this is going to change the women of color and in terms of their voice and identity and policies and stuff like that?
I think it's going to be a great thing. Well, I know it will. I'm not going to say I think. I just feel like you said, there's people that look like us now, act like us, identify as us. So it's like, it would kind of be weird for it not to take some type of elevation.
Think about it though. We had Obama, and he looked just like us, but
Yeah.
It
depends on the person.
Well, it doesn't take one administration to change. You know what I mean? All the
Takes a
social
village.
norms.
No, I know, and the thing we're trying to topple is a thing that is a huge institution. But I'm saying in terms of, can we start seeing a small change? Can we start seeing the chipping of the women rising and having more say?
Absolutely. I think so. I think you're going to see more representation of not only just women, but of different economic groups, different social groups, different races, classes, you know.
Especially when you can identify with something, it's like, okay, I fit in here, so, let me pay more attention to this, or, wow, I actually feel accepted now, okay, I can be myself.
Or that's my neighbor, I know they're looking out for me versus for their...
Basically
like
a guidance type of thing, too, because it's like, not to say we don't have people to look up to, but it's like, who do we have to look up to for real?
Besides athletes and Instagram models and TV stars, it's good to see someone,
Right, exactly.
Like that woman that won the congressional district in New York City. She's now the youngest woman in Congress.
The one for the Bronx and some parts of Yonkers?
Like she is very strongly representing herself as a working class woman as well, which is super important, I think, in politics, is that there's a lot of white elites in politics that are not...
Or elites in general.
That old money.
Exactly.
Old money.
Don't matter if you're white or black, which is, I think, was the...
You're just looking out for the wealthy.
Yeah.
So now we'll have a little bit more, hopefully, representation in all ways.
This is going to be, I think this is going to be very interesting. But to kind of bring it back to your points of just actually having a role model, and then something that young girls can do is like a woman they can look up to. For instance, there was a judge in Texas, right? This sister was absolutely a sister through and through. Was a judge professional. What I mean by that is, so she was trying a case of drunk driving.
Okay.
Somebody driving drunk killed somebody. Now, the defendant's family laughed in court. Why did they laugh in a black woman's courthouse?
She tore him up?
Tore him up, put him in jail for contempt. And the way she did it was so black and professional. It was like I remember watching and I was like, my kid, I grew up, a future kid, I don't have no kids now, but if I have a kid, she's a daughter, and she watches that, she can look at that judge and be like, wow, she kind of looks like, or reminds me of my grandmother or me or my mother. Like, if I was a judge, I could do that.
Because it gives options now.
Yeah.
It's
but my thing I'm pointing out is that I saw her being her, she wasn't being just like a judge. She was like, I'm a black judge. This is how we get down. Yep. You ain't gonna. She said, She goes, not in courtroom 102. Not ever. Not today. You will not be disrespectful. I was like, go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
Like you said, it presents an option, for black females and colored females, so that when they're growing up, they don't have to be this Instagram model. They don't have to be dribble a basketball or do something like that.
Yep.
They can be. And it teaches them how to conduct themselves too as a black professional.
Yeah,
so
you don't always have to be rah cursing, but I'm gonna get my point across, and they're gonna respect me. Exactly.
Yeah. And I just want to talk about how do you think that this is going to either maybe increase the height of the glass ceiling, or get rid of the glass ceiling entirely with these black women and these people of color, these women of color getting into politics? Do you think that it's either the glass ceiling is going to get higher and that women will be able to achieve more, or you think that the glass ceiling is just going to get rid entirely? I mean, because we still got some, colored women who are CEOs, CFOs, and head of businesses. But do you think that there's going to be more of that?
I think it could go either way. Like it all depends on the influence, because it's like, since I was younger, I've had an influence of being an entrepreneur. So it's like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. That's my choice. I'm choosing it. That's me. But it's like, if you don't have that drive, if you don't have that drive, you don't have that mindset, it's still gonna be the same way, because so many people think the same in one way, and so many people think the same the other way. So it's like, it just depends on the influence, I feel like. Like the Kardashians, like we were talking about, that's all influence. Yeah. So if we have influence, global exactly.
Like
if we have that type of global influence to change mindsets and things like that, definitely it'll be gone. But if it's still mediocre, like, dang, I want to talk about this, but I don't want to offend this type of person. But I still want to look out for my people too. So it's like, it has to be some type of influence, like a great, like something that's going to basically overpower the Kardashians, so I feel like it can go either way.
And let's get to our final ticks here. We just want to wrap it up here, but
we can let V
I'm just letting everybody know. So, like, same question. So, what do you see the future of the glass ceiling either getting raised so women can do more, or do you see it just getting rid of entirely, depending on influence, like Gigi mentioned?
I think, thinking about it right now, I think the glass ceiling gets broken and then it gets repaired again. You know what I mean? That. It's like I'm making this awesome accomplishment and I'm breaking the ceiling, but it's like, what about the person who just broke it 2 months ago? You know what I mean? You already forgot about them. Like, all these people are already up there and over it, and they just keep kind of, acting like it didn't happen. You know what I mean? There's all these people that are already soaring over the ceiling, and it's just like, I'm just going to forget about, push that to the side, fix this up again, and oh shit, it got broken again. Well, let's just, patch it back up so that maybe next time we'll make it stronger so that they can't break, Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with the influence and who's in control is creating that ceiling, so now every time we do something good, it's like, oh, we're breaking this glass ceiling, but it's like, we've been doing it for years and years and years, and we're still in the same place.
Right. Don't even acknowledge the glass ceiling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The ceiling ain't going nowhere.
It's not. But
for anybody.
But you know what I think, though? I think that with this,
you can break your own glass ceiling, but the actual glass ceiling's not going anywhere.
I want to kind of wrap it up with Gigi's point here. Is the influence, and this is what basically Black and the Berry Midnight is. We want to influence the young kids, our generation, so that we don't have to live like what society tells us to do. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There's other things we can pave our own way. There's people who have done things that we think that is the only way, we're the first time doing this. Somebody else has done it before you. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these powerful women and all these powerful women of color that they've definitely done it. So, this is just the beginning. I think that the identity of black women and colored women and the voice and the platform is only going to get bigger and stronger from here. Yeah. So I love the fact that the direction we're going with Black and Berry Midnight. This has been great. We're gonna have some more guests here, and we'll speak about the things that feminists and women go through. So thank you for joining us for Black and Berry Midnight. I'm Los. That's Dean. This is Gigi. That's V.
Thank you for having us.
We appreciate it. We love y'all. Berrygang out.
If you can't give birth, aka men, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck we be talking about. Just shut the fuck up. Respect the gangster, bro.
Berrygang.
Respect it.